afternoon to you, our viewers. You're welcome to another wonderful episode of the Roundtable. My name is Ogun. It's another time to bring to you three interesting topics that affect the Nigerian people, that affect the Nigerian populace, and of course, Nigerians within and even outside of the country are interested in some of these topics as well. We have two intelligentsias in the house that will be helping us address and assess these topics. We are going to be looking at these topics from different lenses, various angles, and of course present the truth to you, our viewers. Once again, my name is Shegun Odun. You have with me to my right is back. He has been in the house now for a couple of weeks, giving us his intellectual analysis and pointing us in the right directions as regarding some of these topics. Mr. Chukwudi Akasike, one of our editors in the house. A very good afternoon to you, sir. And to my left is you know him. No glasses today, no tie today, but he's here with his knowledge bank and he's ready to unleash before our viewers this afternoon some of the things he has in that bank. Mr. Adekunle Aliu.
It's a pleasure, sir.
Very good afternoon to you.
Thank you very much.
We'll be starting very quickly with this topic that has been, affecting the Nigerian people ever since the 29th of May 2023, since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came on board, and that is the matter or the topic that has to do with fuel PMS. Since the statement "fuel subsidies gone" was made, fuel was indeed at the front burner of almost every issue you need to talk about in this country. And the marketers have struck, saying that this time around they are going to be doing away with fuel coming from the NNPCL and that they are going to be going with that of Dangote. Of course, this happened because very recently Dangote refinery reduced the price of their PMS to 890 naira per litre. So if you're going to be buying for them as a marketer, you'll be buying at 890. They weren't doing that because of, they were in the season of giveaway. They were doing that because on the international scene, the price of crude had equally, come down. PMS was quite cheap on the international market. And since subsidy removal came into being, there was deregulation in the petroleum sector, meaning that if it is high on the international scene, it goes high locally as well. But on the international scene, if it goes low as well, and that is what Dangote is doing at the moment. But the market are complaining that for NNPCL, it doesn't look like the product is reducing. And since the price is not reducing, of course, basic economics come to play. I buy from where it's cheaper. When it's more expensive, I look for where it's cheaper, and I get to buy. I'm starting with Mr. Chukwudi Akasike this afternoon. The marketers that used to fight Dangote at some point now look like they are fighting, not physical fight, but of course, having issues with Dangote at some point, and people are saying a lot of things at some point. Even Dangote had to become his own biggest marketer. Now the marketers are saying we are going to be aligning with Dangote, we are getting it cheaper, and NNPCL, even in Abuja as we speak right now, having things quite difficult for them.
Yes. What Dangote has done is an indication that he is more people-oriented. He is more affectionate in terms of getting the people's feelings. The NNPC has not shown in any way that it is thinking of Nigerians. Nigerians are going through a lot, buying fuel for 1,000.
Sorry for question. It's about Dangote refinery now being nice, or about market prices on the international scene?
It's about Dangote refinery being nice. If Dangote decides to behave like NNPC, definitely we'll still be buying fuel at 900 and 1,000 naira. So Dangote has shown that he's an affectionate man. He's a man that thinks of the people. And he's not in government. He's not a government official. And he's thinking about Nigerians. The NNPC that should be, that should have feelings, know what Nigerians are going through, are interested in making gains. That is not leadership. So what will I call it? Dangote has shown leadership, and NNPC must follow suit. I don't know what is making them to feel as if to play God. But we thank God, Dangote is there to make the competition, favor Nigeria.
Over to you now, Mr. Liu. Now, it's so bad now that these marketers are dumping NNPCL as a brand on their stations and removing it because, you know, Dangote has reduced from 950 to 890. To some, they might consider that little, but that's actually not little, especially if you are going to be, you know, buying in bulk and all of
3
that.
million liters.
Exactly, 3 million liters, exactly, 5
5
million liters
yeah.
and all of that.
I
What
think,
market is NNPC buying their own from that their own is not dropping?
so we should also not heap blame on NNPC because we don't know the capacity of its production. Yes, NNPC may decide not to reduce its price. Now maybe it's waiting for the appropriate time that they will crash their own price. We should give them room. But again, people will go and buy where it's cheaper. So they will lose customers, they will lose franchise, they will lose a lot of people that are buying from them when it was the same price with Dangote. Now that Dangote has reduced his own price, people will leave. People will buy where it's cheaper, according to you. So they have to lose franchise. They have to lose their customer for doing that. But again, Dangote is getting his own fuel. The NNPC is getting his own crude from Nigeria. So they are not buying, and maybe the capacity they are producing to is not as much as expected. So the economic theory says you will produce and make profit. NNPC too want to make profit from their crude. So if it does not favor them now to crash price, we shouldn't expect them to crash price. And then they should hold up their prices. So people will move to where it's cheaper. In other climes, that's what you see. You see some people are selling maybe $1 difference, $2 difference, or 1 peso. So the same thing is going to happen here now. It's what favors that business entity that it will do. It's now left for the business entity for how to survive in its doing or crash. So profit-wise, maybe NNPC is standing that, look, we want to make profit and not help the people or not go the way the international market has directed, so that when it comes up again, we are stable.
Because on the international scene, Brent oil, as at a couple of days ago, was $81 per barrel, a liter. $81 per barrel to 76 right now. So it shows that the drop has affected us positively.
So if Dangote is buying from the world market, he's going to be buying at that reduced price to refine for us also at a reduced price. So NNPC, do you think NNPC is going to that market to buy? I believe NNPC is just taking from where it's getting from and refining and selling to us. And you know also their capacity this time around is not as large as that of Dangote. So I think that they are looking at, look, we need to make profit from this, and that's why they are not crashing immediately. So maybe in the next 2 weeks too, we'll see Dangote to going through that route when they have lost enough customers, when they have maybe see their product, the margin in sales drop. So they will now say, okay, let's reduce price. Maybe. But I'm not saying they won't. I'm expecting them to go the same way. Because if you look at the telco industry, so you see that there is always one particular telco firm that is always crashing the price regularly to do what? To win the market. So others still drag and don't want to crash down. Maybe NNPC want to do that. Look, we own the market. Because I've been sure too, you know that, look, NNPC used to determine the whole price up and down. Anywhere you go, it's NNPC price that you buy. So maybe for now, they are saying, okay, we control this market. We are going to remain at this level for now. Maybe.
Now, is it not sad that NNPCL, that should be the Nigerian brand, that should be, you know, what the average Nigerian can say, this is our company, even though it's not 100%, you know, because of the PCL, NNPCL that is in it now. But, you know, it's still a brand. Are they not supposed to be our go-to when it comes to fuel, PMS, petrol? Why is it that a private individual, even though Nigeria also has a stake in Dangote refinery, but a private firm is the one bringing succor at a time when on the international scene it's crashing? So why are we not following suit like the statement in 2023 that subsidy is gone? Why are we not allowing the regulation to truly come into play?
The fact is that whatever they taught us in economics, it is not playing out in Nigeria here because of the love for money. When a government does not, look at the people first, it looks at the money it will get. It looks at the profit it will get. That is the kind of things you see. Ordinarily, it is sad that Dangote is the first to react to international market price. And then NNPC up till now has not reacted, has not responded, even when Nigerians are suffering. That's why I say NNPC that is supposed to be closer to the people than Dangote is not feeling, it doesn't have a kind of human feeling. It is money first. And that is why a former candidate of SDP in 2023 election said that the government is behaving as if it is a businessman, while the citizens are the customers. And that is why a government will not be worried when, in fact, a government will go hoarding fuel in order to increase price. That is not fair to Nigerians. Nigerians have suffered a lot, and that is why I feel NNPC should be part of those to save Nigerians from what they are facing now. Economics, yes, we are not following it because of the law for money by government agencies, and that's why the president should come in and try and talk to NNPC. NNPC is quiet. When you want to get them, you don't get them. They only come out, issue press release, go back again, not looking at the feedback from the masses. NNPC must show that yes, it is for Nigerians.
Some persons are saying that perhaps this price war between NNPCL and Dangote is happening because NNPC is trying to make Dangote is trying to make NNPC look bad, and that they are trying to, they will buy in bulk, and a lot of business examples were given about how Dangote is trying to look like the good ones before the Nigerian people, so that they can have they can get this credibility and become popular among the people, and then make NNPCL look like the bad boys.
I disagree with you. I don't think so. There's a marketing mix, there's a dynamics in the market. So let's give NNPC time. It just happened last week, isn't it? So let's give NNPC.
And immediately Dangote finally reacted.
I just got this wing that look, Dangote is playing the international market. So he's selling not only to Nigerians, he's selling to a lot of people outside the country too. So he has to do that. The minute there's a reflection, the minute it also go up, it will go up. Yeah. So this is going to be normal. The trade war is going to be normal here at home and even outside. So we should wait. Let's give NNPC time. I'm sure that NNPC too will follow suit, because they will lose customers, they will lose buyers. So while they are losing that buyers and they are losing volume, they will be forced to crash. It's a good one for us to see this market war, to see this market battle, because more refineries are going to be built and more competition is going to stand. But we will find a level. I don't think NNPC is in the bad books of anybody. Okay. NNPC is just trying to be the boss in this case. But are they really the boss? When you look at the volume of production of fuel.
Let me quickly add.
Okay.
If we know NNPC is not new in Nigeria. If the price were to be the other way around, NNPC would have been the first
recently
to respond.
There was an increase in Brent crude on the international scene about less than 2 months ago, and NNPC equally increased, just as Dangote increased.
So Dangote first of all increased,
no,
and
then
both
increased.
So we will. That's what I'm saying.
Now that it has come down, why is Dangote the one to drop, and then they are waiting days? Are they waiting for it to go high again so that they will have a reason to say, okay, this is what we envisaged?
So now I will now say this question: is NNPC exporting for when they produce? It's producing for the local market. So if NNPC is producing for us, it's within us here. They will decide that look. But Dangote that is producing for international market, that's an international refinery. Very soon you discover that look, Dangote is no longer Nigerian owned, or it's not meant for Nigerian market alone. It's meant for the international market. So it has to show to the international market, look, we are here to stand. But NNPC is NNPC Nigeria. I don't think NNPC is exporting.
One of the things that was being said was it's going to take the pain off the necks of Nigerians. It's going to be a plus for Nigerians.
It's already a plus for Nigeria. It's already taking the pain. It's already taking the pain by reducing these prices.
There's not a gain for external buyers than internal buyers.
No, I'm not saying it's a gain for external buyers. I'm saying the ball is big for Dangote than it is for NNPC. NNPC is looking at itself as a local refiner for the people in the country. Dangote is looking at itself as an international refiner.
Is that not why NNPC should even favor the people?
So NNPC should favor the people, but again, there is a dynamics. It has to go through processes. I'm not in for NNPC, but I'm saying, look, NNPC needs to cut down price as Dangote is doing. But let's give them time. Okay. There might be some other things that we are not seeing. But again, as they increase price when the price of Brent went up, they should also be able to, by now, have crashed their price. But again, there are so many dynamics, there are some other mix we can't see on why these things are happening. We expect them to cut down price as soon as possible.
Is this now that we've truly seen the effect of deregulation in the petroleum sector. Is this not a push for more refineries to come on board, especially privately owned refineries?
You see, the former aide of Tinubu's aide, who left the office recently, I've forgotten his name, from Rivers State. He said that even if you create, if you establish more refineries, that it will not affect oil prices. And what is happening now is showing it. Because ordinarily, if Port Harcourt refinery is working and Warri refinery is working up to some extent, Nigerians should be feeling the impact, the effect. But as it
won't happen that way.
But as it is, it is not happening that way. Nigerians should be feeling the impact of these things. I don't believe that if we have more refineries, the petrol price will remain the way it is.
No.
Nigerians should feel the impact, the effect. Okay. And so far, why is it, my question is, why is it that when economic theories favor the people, it will not work out? There's always an excuse. When it favors government, immediately. So,
all right, we have to move on to the next topic.
No, but you know the deregulation is working very well. That's why we are having this. If there's no deregulation, you won't be expecting more refineries to come on board. There are, like, at least I can talk about 4 refineries already being built.
Yes, Rabiu Samad zone.
So it's because there is a deregulation. The market has been freed. So you build, you sell like somebody who's going to sell biscuits on the street. So you look for your customers. So if Dangote is looking for his customer by reducing price, kudos to Dangote. If NNPCL is refusing to reduce price, we'll wait and see what happens
in the future. All right, quickly move on to the next topic. The 4th of February 2025, Tuesday, was a day meant to be a day of protest, as announced by the Nigerian Labour Congress last week. However, the night of Monday, the 3rd of February 2025, there was an announcement from Comrade Joe Ajero, the NLC president, and he declared that the protest that was supposed to happen on Tuesday was going to be shelved because there was a review panel going on. And what was the reason for the protest in the first place? Recently, telecommunications telcos increased their tariffs, and they increased from what it used to be to 50% higher. Initially, they had wanted it to be 100%, but the government came in, and there was a negotiation led from the angle of the government by the minister controlling the coordinating minister what's his name again? Mr. Wale Edun. Yes, the coordinating minister of the economy. Mr. Wale Edun, on behalf of the government. And this meeting ensured that there was going to be a 50% increase and not a 100% increase. NLC came in and said, we are fighting for the people. We are fighting for the masses. We are saying no to this 50% increment. And then they equally said that there's going to be a protest on the 4th. This was Tuesday, 2 days ago, but it didn't happen. I'll be starting with you, Mr. Liu. I remember when we were discussing this topic last week, you vehemently said there was no reason for the protest. It shouldn't happen. The country is not even ready for anything of such at this moment and all of that. And then your wishes indeed came to pass.
Thank God.
And, you know, I'll be going to him later because he said he was even doubting it was going to happen in the first place, because most times NLC, according to many people, they just know how to scream and shout. Many times they don't bring it to fruition.
Toothless bulldog now.
Exactly. But very quickly, now we are back to the panel, committee, review and all of that. Do you think there's going to be any headway in this?
There will be headway, because I listened to Joe Ajero speaking on one of the television stations of recent, and he was atomizing some of the things that made them to say, no, look, you can't bring in this 50% increase this way.
No, this time.
That before you sign this contract, initially it was about voice. Now that it's data, there's a lot of things going into these things, and you cannot tell us you are not making profit. So let's agree with them, and let's go and look at the game on a bigger scale with those who know and those who don't know, so that we can know more. I don't know if you understand. So I agree with them that, okay, make the panel bigger and let the discussion, but would it say there will be a reduction? I doubt. Because what I'll see is that everybody will come to the table with what he has to bargain and fight for that increment. NNPCL will come with NLC will come with its own, but I don't think they have a watertight argument against the telcos not to increase their prices. They may eventually come up to maybe 40% increment just to save face. Because if I bring you back to the previous discussion they had about NNPC on oil price and so on, you will see the I don't want to call it charade, the way the NNPC came and said, okay, we accepted, minimum wage. We accepted 70,000 naira because the president promised us this, that. And eventually, this is all we are hearing now is story over that. So I'm still going to expect to hear stories on this issue because I don't think NNPC has a strong defense for price increase. And if they have, it means those who did the initial bargain didn't do a good job.
Okay, that's where I'm going. Yeah. Because they said they were going to increase, talking about the telcos, they were going to be increasing 100%. Then the Wale Even committee and everything ensured it was 50. NLC is saying no. Is anything going to come out of this? I mean, is it truly reduced from 50 a good job, or that they were taking the NLC for granted, or is the NLC just screaming and then nothing will happen and we'll just forget it in 2 weeks?
Yeah, I said here in our last meeting that NLC is just playing to the gallery. In fact, NLC leadership does not know what it's doing. In all the issues that it has handled, it has always failed. At the end of the day, what will happen that is to the detriment of the people will still happen. There is nothing this NLC has fought for that the people will come out and say yes, it is good. The minimum wage 70,000 naira, change it to dollars, you know that it is ridiculous.
But we are
apologies, sir.
We are buying
in naira.
It is ridiculous compared to compared. Compass are getting 77. Change it to the dollar. They are the big men are spending. The bodos in police are spending. The fact is that NSC has not done its job. No homework. It just comes out before you know. The government will say one thing. It chickens out.
Check it.
We need an NSC that will work for the people. This one is coming to grandstand or give the impression that NSC is people oriented. It is not true. I told you earlier that this is just playing to the gallery, and you have seen it. A committee comes out now.
Don't they have
hold on. A committee comes out when it comes to issue of the people. Committee comes out when they come to issue of increasing tariff. No committee. They go straight and do it. The National Assembly is sleeping over this thing. The National Assembly should come and fight for the people.
Yeah.
But the National Assembly is not playing its role. The NLC came to give the impression that it will really play its role.
The NLC comes in. Some persons may also say they are also just playing to the gallery and they are not fighting for the people. Just the same way the NLC is stepping in now, and you are saying
as it is now, it is clear that Nigerians are on their own. Okay, tell me what has happened. You are talking about minimum wage. A minimum wage that NSC said it should be 250,000 naira, and the president said if you make it 250,000 naira, I will increase fuel. At the end of the day, they came to 70,000 naira. Now,
and the fuel was increased.
And fuel was increased. So how do you describe that kind of situation?
And they didn't go back to say that you broke your promise.
Let's fight this out.
Yes, they didn't go back. They kept quiet. They only say make one noise for 1 or 2 days, and they go and sleep. So that is not NSC that I know. Even NAS that should do something, NAS has gone to sleep. Yes, in those days of Shegun Okewo, you can't do this. You can't be increasing tariff this amount. Electricity tariff increase. Fuel you increase it anyhow without looking at the people. Look at how much we buy fuel, 1,000 naira. Up close to 1,000 naira now. Now, look at the minimum wage. It shows that an average Nigerian should not even near petrol station, should not near filling station. So
it's not luxury.
So it's not luxury. So how can we, when we are number 8 in terms of 6 or 8 in terms of production, oil. So we are not getting it right in terms of wealth distribution. And NLC is like a chicken without head, running like a chicken without head, without achieving anything.
So you don't think this committee is headed in the right direction?
The committee that was created, at the end of the day, as he said, will be about 40%. They will just remove 10%, it becomes 40%. At the end of the day, Nigerians are still suffering because their purchasing power is still fixed. It has not been increased. And the devaluation of the naira has messed up the whole thing. So Nigerians are weak through government policies. And that is why NSC must always come to save the situation. National Assembly must always come to save the situation. NANS must also come to save the situation. But all these people, I don't know what is wrong with them. They've gone to sleep. National Assembly is pandering to the whims and caprices of the executive, which is not supposed to be.
Okay, so Nigerians have no option but to just accept that in coming days there will be a reduction, or do you think there won't be a reduction?
We should hope for a reduction. We should hope for a reduction.
We are hopeful.
We should hope. Because also the NSC has reasons. As much as we don't want to throw the baby away with the bathwater, we should look at what they are demanding. So they are saying that, look, you need to begin to give Nigerians free calls, free data period, and so on and so forth. Some of these are lacking.
Do you think any of those deals will be accepted?
It should be accepted. It should, as much as this business company, these are very capital-intensive businesses. So there are also incentives you can create for the people that will make things easy. That is not much for you. You don't need to. How much are they spending to give us data? So I think they will make headway, but that kind of superstar headway that we're expecting from NLC is what we will get.
So what is what we're expecting? The superstar headway?
Well, in this case, I have an issue with even with myself saying that, look, do I determine the amount that woman sells yam for me on the street?
No.
Do I determine the amount that man sells biscuits for me on the street?
No.
No. So it's
either buy or you go.
That is why
that
is why when government is adding this, removing fuel subsidy, making making naira become almost meaningless, you should look at all these things. The moment you increase the prices of things that are central to the survival of Nigerians, these are the kinds of things you see. Even if they add 20%, even if they make it 30%, it is still a kind of stranglehold.
It's a joke,
in the neck
because it's also going to be a multiplier effect on every goods and services
when they say add more
that you buy.
If you load your phone now, you see the speed at which the data runs. It's already increased already. If they are now add more, it becomes a kind of killing a fly with a sledgehammer. And that is not good for Nigerians. Nigerians are already weak. I love Nigerians because they are patient. All these things that are happening, you can't do it in some countries. The fact is that things are done without the consideration of the survival of the people. And that is why Nigeria is sinking into the nade. There is no way a country will develop and the people are poor. A government that is richer than the people is under development already. That is it. On the average, you see that if 70% of the population is poor, it shows that Nigeria is underdeveloping. Forget about the skyscrapers or whatever government is doing. Government must, contribute to the development of the people. Government should not. The first function of government is not to develop government. Government official is to develop the people.
All right. I think you have to move on to our next topic because we just watch and see where this ends. NLC fighting for the rights of Nigerians, bringing out certain ideals and numbers that they want and don't want. And of course, they made a very, very major statement. It's up to the committee now that has been set up for us to see what truly comes out of this. I hope this settles very, very soon because this is something that affects everybody. Everybody makes calls. Even if you don't have, who doesn't have a phone that has internet these days? Who is not connected? Who doesn't buy data these days? Perhaps in the remote villages. But even in these places, they make calls. Everybody sends text messages. Everybody has a phone out there. Almost everybody has a phone. So this is something that concerns everybody or almost everybody in Nigeria. And perhaps for the biggies, they don't understand what it feels like to, spend much. But some persons are still do 1 gig for me. Do 2 gig for me. Those persons will feel what it means to not have. And there are still people that are saying, "Hello, this is my last card. Send me a card." People still do this now in Nigeria. Of course, you will know 1 or 2 persons, or must have even done it yourself in the past before God lifted you up. So it's a topic that everybody understands. Very quickly, we're moving on to the next topic, and this is a topic that went viral a couple of days ago, where a particular king, the Orile Ifo, the king, the Oba of Orile Ifo, was seen scolding a septuagenarian on the streets, on the road, and he made the elderly man kneel down on the streets, and you know, they were messing the man up. God knows who was recording that video, because that video went viral. You know, it also thanks to the person who recorded that video, because some of these things would have been done in secret and would never have heard of it. And it's not a big deal, because he has been arraigned in court. He has even been kept in a correctional center in Ilaro. And even the suspects, the persons who are said to have helped him engage in such acts, are now being wanted by the men of the Nigerian police force. I'll be coming to you now.
Yeah.
It looks like a subtle case.
Yeah.
To some persons, they see this is not a big deal, but you know, considering the fact that we are a people who have traditional laws, even, you know, we obey these traditional laws. You know, there are things you don't do to an elder. There are those norms that you follow that we follow as a people, and then an elderly man turns up on social media, kneeling down before, you know, God knows who. Of course, they eventually discovered it was the king, and now actions are being taken. I mean, just analyze this case for what could have happened that led them into this such situation.
What you saw there did not just happen today. It is a kind of combination of omissions in the past. If Nigeria has been able to, from parental background up to the school, up to the church, mosque, to government, if everybody has done what he or she is supposed to do, this kind of thing will not happen. Because this, even the man committing that offense, the monarch committing that offense, did not even know that it was an offense, because he belongs to a society, where such a thing will happen and nothing will happen. You had the man saying that he will do something and nothing will happen. He will do something to the man and nothing will happen. So it is, what we are seeing is just a microcosm of the bigger things that has been happening that we have not even seen. What is happening is an indication that a country is sinking into the nade without anybody saying anything. Morally, we are gone. And that is why I always mention the National Orientation Agency. After I said that, they've come up with, they've been doing some things.
That they must have been listening.
Yes. So they need to do more. Because for I learned the man, the monarch, is a retired police officer. And he brought that police attitude into rulership. So what he has done is a sign of what Nigeria has become. That is it.
And what people probably, you know, must have experienced the police behavior under him, must have experienced over time, because he even had more power than as a police officer. Of course. He would just say, I'm just doing my duty. Yeah. A quick question. He has been charged for on 3 counts: conspiracy, assault, and conduct likely to cause a breach of peace. And you know, the case is still on today. But in fact, he was at the Ilaro Correctional Center that they said he was at. That he couldn't meet the conditions of bail. But this is the question. I mean, when did it get this bad that kings who are supposed to uphold the values of the society are now the ones perpetrating the act of evil?
Kings. We just don't want to.
People know
I don't want to mention name, but
not politicians.
There are a lot of kings, monarchs, traditional rulers that assume this tyrannical attitude. It is, yeah. Wow. I could, where I was saying before now, I could tell you what happened between 2 brothers from the same royal family, where one had to go and split the kingdom into 2. That look, and with tongues, fighting his own brother, until he made himself a king to that section of the city. Wow. So it is not, it's been in us, it's human nature to do some of these things. But you see, the laws and the constitution is what will check us and put us in place. Thank God that somebody recorded this video. If not, he would have gotten away with it and be proud about it. It's not the first time. Yeah, it's certainly, he was sure about it. You can see the way he was rolling the courses and so on. He was being a tyrannical king. He was doing it with all effrontery. That look, nobody can stop me, nobody can hit. But thank God somebody recorded it, and the outcry is bringing justice for the old man. We don't know what the old man has done to the king. He might have done something very terrible, which as a king he ought to have led by example by reporting the case. As a police officer, you know the rules, you know the roots of everything. So you'd have taken him out, but you went assault him, abuse him, curse his family, and do a lot of dehumanizing thing to him. It is wrong. It is utterly wrong. It is good now that he is now facing the law. Now, this is to tell everybody, look, there is a law. I always say that, look, in this country, if we obey only just 50% of our laws, things would have been far better than it is now. But because we do not, we all just like, look, I can beat the law, I can break the law and get away with it. So hence we have this kind of situation sometimes happening. But I think people should learn from this that, look, you can't break the law and get away with it. If you're caught, you will do the time.
He has been suspended for 6 months by the Ogun State government. I mean, some persons have said suspension is not enough. He probably will go back and even become more tyrannical. Some persons have said, oh, he will try to trace where the video of people who must have, made a clip of the action. But is the suspension enough punishment, or is it too subtle, or is it too much?
If you look at the way the man behaved, and the fact that he displayed a kind of serious immorality by even denying the fact that he wasn't the person in the video, you know. If you look at how that measure was given to that innocent chief, if you look at that measure and want to weigh the same measure and to serve that monarch, in fact, that monarch should be removed with immediate effect, because there is no reason for him to come that low. And the fact that he didn't even know that it was an offense until people started, maybe telling him. He never knew it was an offense because he was a man that stayed in the barracks. Things happens anyhow, because I learned he left the police as a sergeant. So a man that stays in the barracks comes out, maybe does one thing to innocent people or the other. The fact is that this man shouldn't have been there in the first place. No. Monarchs protect.
See, there are generals that...
Monarchs don't curse.
Yeah.
But this one was cursing publicly.
So you see that it's a human nature. There are generals that are kings and are doing well in their kingdom in this country. There are police officers that are king and are doing well in their kingdom in this country. It's about you personally as a person. You talk about education and so on and so forth. See, some of this is about how you educate yourself from the learnings you've learned in life. As somebody who has gone through the police hierarchy and so on and became a sergeant and left and became a king, he ought to know the rules and regulations. He ought to know, even as a king, this man is your subject, he's your chief. So how do you deal with him in this manner? So all the chiefs under him are kneeling down for him? Now that's wrong. In public, that's even wrong. If you're in your closet and you're talking to yourself and you're trying to iron out issues as chiefs, as rulers together, but you should know that you are just first among equal. You are not as if you are above all of them. You are not above your subject. You are just first among equal. So if he sees that, but I think he didn't see that, he sees himself, he became power drunk, he wants absolute power, and he wants to show his power that, look, I'm going to deal with you. But again, in dealing with people, there are rules and regulations, there are rooms that the law has provided. Yeah. You talk about, is the suspension enough?
Yes, 6 months.
Now, the suspension, I think, is just for him to leave for now so that it can be dealt with by the law. Maybe after the law has done its own course.
So how will you feel like coming back after all of this mess?
No. If he comes back, if the state wants him to be the king, he will still be the king. If the state does not want him to be the king, they can remove him and show him the calabash and let him see the eggs.
Even if they don't want to remove him, how does it fit in back into the system?
Fact is,
if he's removed,
he was saying that the man should have been conscious of where of his position. The fact is that character doesn't die easily like that. If it is in your blood, you can't change. If you are an aggressive person, you need the miracle of God for you to change and become somebody that is meek.
So before you go on further, if we know precisely what this chief has done, I would have been able to say, okay, maybe it can measure this aggravation that is exhibited, but I don't know what the man has done.
If I leave Punch today, let me tell you, if I leave Punch today, the character I will show outside after retirement or after is still what I display here. Over time. It's still what they will not ask you, this good man, where is he from? They'll say, he worked in Punch. Now this man has displayed his own character. And I say, this Monarch, where is he coming from? Police.
So now that's my disagreement. That look, you can't paint this man because he has worked with the police. You are saying the police has shaped him that way, or he has refused to shape himself in a discipline. The police is supposed to be a place where you are disciplined. You know the law. You know a lot of things about dealing with people. But unfortunately, I think it's just the individual people not wanting to learn that, look, this institution can shape me. I talk about generals who are king. I talk about, so
you can be a good person and you can be a bad person within
the police system.
All right. Unfortunately, we have to go now. It's been an amazing time here. Whenever we are having this program, it's always a lovely time because I've always said it. Look at the crop, of topics we bring to you, the persons we bring to you to analyze from various angles, and we just present the facts to you, our viewers. Thank you very much for being a part of this production today. Same time, same day next week. We'll be here again, God willing, for another episode of the Roundtable. A very big thank you to Mr. Adekunle Aliu.
It's a pleasure.
And Mr. Achukwu Akasiki for being a part of this production. The biggest thanks goes to you, the viewer out there, because like I always say, if you are not there, there's definitely no reason why we'll be on this end. The weekend begins tomorrow. Don't be weekend by the weekend. Stay out of trouble. God bless you.